Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
Creating space is not a luxury. I'm going to have you just open up your mind and consider that because it's not a luxury, that means that it is an absolute necessity, like oxygen. Maybe we'll call this podcast episode "Space is like oxygen." Not a luxury. Maybe brackets, not a luxury. So let's jam on this, sister, because right now, some of you are so juiced with everything in your life right now, just so busy, feel so behind, so exhausted, so what the hell day is it even, that you've already shut down to this conversation because you've already decided, oh, good for you, Karen, you can create space. I can't do that. So I hear you, because I was there at one point in my life too. I remember when our youngest son Kai was born. We adopted both of our boys, so that kind of looks like this: instant family. Okay, those of you, which is most women, who have a biological child, you have a gestation period. You know when the baby's coming around. It doesn't happen that way with a lot of adoption. About a third, at least in the province of Alberta where I used to live, about a third of the adoption placements are instant, meaning the baby's been born and you get a call, hey, you've been chosen by a birth mom. So that was Kai. So, and it was fine, and it was amazing, and he's just a great little boy, and we felt so completed as a family. But I remember maybe, I don't know, a couple months in or something, maybe 3 months in, and just feeling so overwhelmed. And second baby, right? So if you're a mom or maybe friends who are moms, it's kind of it was so interesting because even though it was that instant placement with Kai, it was kind of we're oh my God, we got the call. It's so exciting and stuff. And it was that's a whole other podcast episode of what happened with that placement. It was on, it was off. It was just 25 years of social work. Our social worker, Barb, said she's never seen anything like that. So of course it happened to us, as we are the ones that tend to be delivered a lot of these things, because I guess, it's just, we're able to adapt and to see those lessons and not get caught up in all the stuff, and to see all those gifts. So, and of course, biggest gift of that is our sweet chicken pot Kai, who we love Kai so much. But I remember that couple months in and just being so overwhelmed. And I can't remember if it was then or the time, but talking to someone or being on the phone with the coach or something about hey, creating 20 minutes of meditation a day. And I was in my mind, I'm I just wanted to kill him. Because I'm are you out of your fucking mind? I don't have that. You're a man. You don't have, mostly the kids to take care of. For a lot of us, even as professional women, the child care is mostly on us. And for me, that's also by choice. And so this whole notion of 20 minutes is 10 minutes. And I was I can't. I was just in tears because I just felt so overwhelmed. It was can you do a minute and just breathe deeply for a minute? And I was I can do that. So I want you to consider that this conversation of space is going to be relative to however it works in your life. But it's got to be put in, however it looks. My space that I create my days now is beautiful. It was not that way at that point in time when Kai was a little guy, and he just turned 5 in August, a couple months ago. I have an 8-year-old and 5-year-old now. The demands of that is different than when they were infants, not sleeping through the night, right? So, and it's all different relative different times. I've got friends who've got teenagers who are oh my God, wait till the teenagers, because then you just won't be sleeping at night because you're waiting for them to come home, right? So it's all different stages of this journey called parenting. But whether you are a mother or not, or have stuff going on in life where it's crazy busy, or you've gone through some recent trauma or tragedy or something, space needs to be created in whatever shape or form that you're able to put it into place. It just needs to get there. That's just it. And So let's jam on this. Had a conversation with my husband this morning, and he has a couple businesses. He's super busy right now. It's a good thing. He's super busy. He's also really exhausted, really, really tired. He's pushing. He needs to be really mindful of that too. My husband has Crohn's disease, and so stress and he's still taking care of himself. I mean, kudos to him. He's chiropractor yesterday, on track with other kind of personal things. He's, getting a lot better at sleep, supplements, waters, workouts are dialed in, awesome, right? But for Ed, again, it's just when that push happens so much. And he said to me, he's had this eye strain stuff for what I see is eye strain. He sees now as eye strain for the last 3 weeks. Sometimes with Crohn's, because it's an inflammatory disease, is he might get like inflammation in his eyes. And so sometimes he said pink eye, or it's just like a red eye thing, or it's itchy. And maybe some of those artificial tears, or maybe an antibiotic kind of drop or something once in a while, and it kind of clears up and it's good to go. Well, it's been 3 weeks, right? And so he said to me today, he's I think it's the screen. And as much as I want to say, with love, do you think, hun? I'm I think you're right. And he also has eyewear that helps to reduce the strain. But the thing is, you can have these things which help with that. But really, I said, your body right now, babe, your body is screaming space. It's screaming space. He's I got all these things going on. I'm I know, I hear you. I get it, man. I get it. But the space can be however it is. And when I said to him, I said, it could be, listen, you got 2 hours of calls you're doing, and you go and you now have a 10-minute chunk where you just go outside and you walk. He's or I could meditate in my office. I'm beautiful. But something where it's you have to take that little amount of space, right? That little amount of pause. It is necessary. I put an extra consonant in that one. How about that? Necessary is required. And again, I don't. It's I'm almost searching for the words of how can I really help you? Not convince, not persuade, but just really help you have some insight about this, because the majority of people cognitively up in their brain go, makes sense, right? I can't keep going. We plug in our our electrical or our electronics, our phones and our iPads and our laptops at night to charge it. It needs to have that recharge. It makes sense that I need to do this, right? And we can even have past experiences. Maybe we pushed so hard, our body just kind of broke, and it was psh, we're going to either deliver something to your immune system. Here's a nasty fucking cold or flu. Or maybe it got to the point where it was so bad that you've produced something, that's really challenging the body, maybe really going through adrenal fatigue. There's some kind of chronic disease process that's, been created from the choices in life because of the go. Or you just notice how you don't operate the same way. For me, I set my alarm early this morning, 4:30, ready to get up, walk my dogs, actually meditate first, walk my dogs, come back, journal, read all the stuff kind of in the dark with my phone on, have my coffee before kids get up, and I reset it for 4:45. I'm I'm good kind of thing. I woke up and it's 6. I'm shit, right? Now I know, I'm okay, so there's no dog walk this morning. I got to take a mulligan on a couple of these things. I got to give myself some grace, not beat myself up. That would have been the past. And me being in this pissy mood about it, I didn't have my time and I'm not as good and all this stuff. I'm that's horseshit. That's the story. Yeah, I know all these things are what's ideal, but it didn't happen today. So what, Karen? So what? So my little guy's up, and I get him situated with a show he wants to watch. I'm well, I'm just going to go meditate for 5 minutes. Not my normal 15, but 5, right? And the reason that was the primary thing is meditation for me is just so grounding. I walk into my day better. So I know that the space that was normally be the 15 minutes would normally be, and not the rush, right? And normally would be the walk downstairs, go walk my dogs. I have a conversation with God, walking along the sidewalk next to our beach. I talk to the Holy Spirit. I pray for people. I get out into fresh air. I'm with my dogs. It's very grounded. It's dark. It's peaceful. I don't have that today. So But I know that creating that space, again, if it needs to be a little smaller today, is still going to happen for me, regardless of getting up at 6 a.m. Something told me last night too, because usually I would run the dishwasher at night and empty in the morning, and something told me last night when I came home, because we had a sitter last night, my husband had a business meeting, and I went to a yoga class, got a little bit of work done, and came home, and something was just like, just empty it now. Right? Listen to those. It gave me a little bit more time this morning, right, to do that, so I got my meditation time. Still sat down and journaled with the boys and with, I don't know, some YouTube show in the background. Like, it still happens today, but you gotta create that space. And then there's the other end of the pendulum. There's your daily space, right? And or weekly space. Think of for your marriage, weekly date night, non-negotiable for us. And we often will have two. Now, we haven't recently with a lot of work commitments, and I've been away for a little bit, 3 days for a retreat, and usually it's twice a week. And my God, that just needs to happen. We just are not good together if we don't have that space to just be with each other, not around other people. So if you go, we're going to an office party or out with dinner with friends, no, that's not date night. With just the two of you. Space, right? When you decide that, hey, you know what? My physical fitness is important to me. And so I'm going to create that space for exercise, however many times a week. For me, it needs to be daily, because that's just how I function best. Even if that daily, maybe on a couple days a week, maybe 1 day a week is just my regular dog walk, then so be it. But that space, it's there. It's a without fail. It is seriously a non-negotiable, some of these things, for space for me. And then when I realized I have to come back to this women's retreat, is every 3 months, I want to go away for a weekend. Just me. Not the girlfriend weekends. I've never even done that stuff. I'm not interested. I just need space to be with me. And so, and that's something, by the way, which even before I went on this retreat a couple weekends ago, I was like, oh, I shouldn't go. There's too much going on. It's not good timing. And none of this kind of guilt thing, but just kind of oh, my little guys are so busy. I'm so involved in their life now with everything. And my husband's so busy with work. So, it's just going to be more of a hassle to have to explain. And then there's going to be, I had all these stories, and it was just my husband just kept saying we'll be good, honey, just go. There's going to be a little bit more pizza and stuff like that, maybe some Starbucks drinks, but, the kids are not going to die because of that kind of stuff for a couple days. Not a biggie, because I needed that space. But that is something that was a progression to lead up to. But space for you, yes, it makes you a better mom. Yes, it makes you a better wife. Yes, it makes you better, more productive in business. Yes, it makes you a better you. But I'm going to have you, although you might need to create the space with the intention of it's going to make me better for others, because some of you come from such a beautiful space in your life of serving and giving that, that's your motivation. Right? I'm going to do it for other people. But I'm going to have you consider that you do this for you. You do this for you. Can't keep being on your phone all the time without giving it space to recharge and not be on it. You deserve the same. Sister, you deserve better. You deserve better. So here's your more tip for today. I want you to, now you might be someone right now, by the way, who creates space in your life, but whether you do, whether you don't, I want you to add one thing to create space in your daily activities, daily. That could be you journal. That could be you meditate. That could be that you maybe you have dogs. Maybe you walk your dogs. That could be prayer. That could be reading. That could be whatever. I don't know. Maybe you create space and you watch, you listen to music. You listen to a podcast. Listen to this podcast maybe. But you create space that's just for you. Because you are worthy of that. Because you're worthy. Here's the other piece of this. You need to ritualize it. What I mean by that, and when I was at the retreat, I was talking to a couple of the women, they're talking about self-care, and I just said, for me, the time that it finally kind of not only just landed, but I made it a reality, is I made it a ritual. So my meditation, for example, my alarm goes off. Hopefully I don't reset it and then sleep to the alarm like today, but alarm goes off, I go in the bathroom, my clothes are already out to change into, I brush my teeth, I go to the bathroom, I put in my contacts, I brush my hair, and then I go back into bed, sit up in bed with a couple pillows propped behind us. I sit up in bed cross-legged and I meditate. My Muse meditation device is next to me. I'm ready to go. Like, it is this is how this happens, right? The reason why the dog walks from us, that I walk downstairs and my dogs are pretty good at keeping me accountable for this because they're like, we got to pee, we want to go outside. But they're kind of there. Sometimes I have their leashes out with the poop bags. Like, it's all very ritualized. Do you get that? I don't have to make decisions on it. I don't have to go, when am I going to meditate today? I'm going to do it today. Oh, I ran out of time today. Like, there is so much energy that is expended unnecessarily when you run your game that way. But this one thing that you do, create the space and ritualize it. Now listen, you can try things, right? So for me, I used to do where I did the dog walk first, then I came back to meditate, but sometimes my kids were up. And the meditation to me takes priority over anything. And so I was like, well, what if I just went back into bed and did it? I don't know. I had this story about, well, what's the thing about meditating first thing in the morning? Didn't I just wake up? Isn't it going to make me sleepy? And, for me, I found that not to be true at all. And it works. So set it as a ritual, but don't be so rigid. If it's not working, you can always change it. But set it up as a specific time. You ritualize that time and you protect it like a motherfucker. You protect that time. And even if it means like this morning, like a curveball's delivered, which is my body went, yeah, we need some more sleep. We're just going to sleep past this alarm. I still made that meditation happen. And not because I'm like Superwoman. And I had to adapt it and go, okay, not 50 minutes, but 5. I'm still going to get benefits from that. But you ritualize that. So again, one thing you do to create space for you in your daily routine and then ritualize it. And then do it like today. Don't go, I'll start it next week. I'll start tomorrow. No, today. Today. When you make decisions swiftly, they happen. When you delay, you've created all this space as to when you will talk yourself out of it. Don't do that. You deserve this space, sister, because again, it is a necessity like oxygen in your lungs, not a luxury. Create that space, sister, because again, you're worthy and you deserve this. So, finishing up a couple things. I have, actually still there's more orders coming in. If the women wanting more limited edition journals, so they're orange leather, beautiful. Other women wanting more swag, I'm going to send along with it. So if you would still like one of these free journals, I've got about 40-ish or so left. Head over to drkarenosborne.com/free journal. drkarenosborne.com/free journal. In your show notes, by the way, which you're listening on your phone, which most of you do, because I see the stats on who listens where, then just open up the show notes and there'll be clickable links. So just click on that to get through. You take care of a little bit of shipping. I do all of the rest. My gift to you, and this is it. I'm not doing these anymore because it's so much work. 513 that have been sent out, and I'm happy to do it. But I'm also going to be happy when it's done. So I want to make sure that everybody gets their journal that still wants one. And if you're not already on the Women Wanting More newsletter, you got to do that now. You're missing out, sister. I send you some cool video trainings. We're going to stay in touch a couple times a week. So that's over at drkarenosborne.com/action guide. So I will talk to the next episode, sister. A life of more is one step away from you creating space just for you every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborne.com/newsletter.